there's a difference between no longer getting your money in the streets and being a civilian, right? That's what it sounds like some of these rappers, and in some instances, some of these podcasters who might have really been in the street, it sounds like, those who claim, well, I'm a civilian now, and may even go as far as to say, man, get out of the streets, don't go in the streets. Man, it leads to murder, it leads to somebody getting killed, it leads to prison. The streets ain't where it's at. Look, I agree with all that. And some of them might say that, and some of them might say they're civilians. But my thing is, are you really a true civilian? Or you no longer get your money in the street, you find another way to start getting your money. Because if you a rapper and you still co-sign, celebrate, promote, rap about, brag about, make it cool and acceptable through your music, the same street culture, the same street activity that you telling people to stay away from, how serious are you really about like divorcing street culture? Which ain't good for nobody, I agree with. But how serious are you really? Because look, when you was getting your money, when you felt like, man, you was willing to get the money by any means necessary, and you might, don't trick yourself into thinking that you still might not be willing to get the money by any means necessary. Let's say you in real life, you got a dude that's in the streets, he on the corner, he in the streets. Even he may see a little dude on the corner trying to be down and tell him, get from around here, stay in school. I better not, let me catch y'all here. I'm telling you, I better not catch y'all here. I'm gonna tell your mama what's going on. Don't ever let me catch you out here. You ain't got no business out here. This ain't where you won't be. A dude who really actively in the streets may tell a little dude that. Right? Does that mean he a civilian? Does that mean he's done with street culture? Man, I ain't with that street culture stuff. Or do he understand like everybody else everybody know the things in the street, getting involved in that. Everybody know that's not good. Whether you a civilian, whether you in the streets, whether whatever. Everybody know that's not good. It don't take a genius to figure that out. Right? So if you're a rapper and you telling somebody that the same thing that a drug dealer would tell a little dude, drug dealer know better, you telling him the same thing, and you used to get your money that way, now you get your money like this, but you would still, that same drug dealer would go out there and do a lot of that stuff that he told a little dude don't do, right? A rapper, or maybe a podcaster, would still uphold the same rules, guidelines, celebrate, glorify, promote street culture, or the things of the streets in their podcast while they rapping, but would tell somebody to stay away from the streets. So my question would be, just like I would question how removed the drug dealer is from street culture, but the drug dealer would accept that, hey, this is what I'm in. This is what I'm in. People get it mixed up that just because something legal don't mean that it's morally right, or don't mean that it's good. Yeah, you can legally promote, celebrate, glorify, make the things of the streets sound cool through your music or through your podcast. But is it right? And if you're doing that, are you really truly against street culture for real? You really want people to really truly be done with that? Or as long as you can profit off it, like you did in the streets by actively, physically doing it, then you're good. Because if you still wanted to profit off making this stuff cool and acceptable, man, that's all you did was switch up your hustle. You're not done with street culture. You would hear rappers who would say that they wouldn't call the police in certain instances. Man, some people might say the only way they'll call the police is if like something gets stolen, they have to file an insurance claim. Other than that, that's not how civilians roll. Civilians call the police when something happens. And if a civilian don't do that, then he going by a different code. Because some civilians get influenced, because, in certain environments, street culture is so heavy that it can, it can rub off on the people in that environment, even if they're not street. If they're moving like that, if a civilian kind of move like that, that street culture just rubbed off on him. He's not handling that like a civilian's supposed to. A rapper might, claim civilian, but if another rapper break the street code of like snitching or whatever, he would, say, oh man, he down bad. He handled that bad. Are you really on some civilian stuff, or you just get your money different now? You need to really recognize that, right? What's really the difference besides you and the drug dealer or the hitman or the pimp or whatever who will physically go, okay, they'll physically go do it, but you'll make what they're physically doing cool and acceptable and help normalize it. And you have a broader audience. You have more people under the sound of your voice than they do. So, hey, you just as much as a weapon as he is. You just don't get your money that way no more. He got to take 10 penitentiary chances to get his money through street culture. You don't have to take penitentiary chances to get your money through street culture. But you're still getting your money by the celebrating, glorifying, promoting, and the normalizing of street culture. Make no mistake about it. Don't trick yourself into that. That's why when certain rappers get held to a street standard who then claim civilian, they confused. But if you wasn't still talking gangster stuff, celebrating, glorifying, and promoting it, normalizing it, people will know, oh, your boy not on that at all. Why? He ain't gonna. But since you are, while claiming to be a civilian, just because you can legally, they got a lane where you can legally celebrate, promote this destructive culture that everybody know is bad. Even the drug dealer on the corner who would tell the dude get off the block because he know it's bad. All of us know it's bad. Just because there's a lane where you can legally do this, which is a whole nother conversation to have, and you hopped in that lane to get your money, does not mean you're done with the streets. Does that really mean you're done with the streets? Or like the question I keep asking, did you just find another way to start getting money while still not divorcing street culture? That's the question. So if you're gonna claim civilian as a rapper, leave all that alone. Let that go. Keep telling people stay out the streets because that's right, but don't celebrate it, don't promote it, don't glorify it, don't normalize it, point it out, hold it accountable, frown upon it. Leave it, let it go. That's what you should be doing if you're really going to be done with the streets.